Bender Bending Rodriguez is a skilled and experienced burglar with a robot chassis, making him an interesting candidate for Dungeons & Dragons. As always, the character sheet is available in the description if you'd prefer to see it as a PDF. I'm going to be focusing quite a lot on Bender's thieving ability, and will want to give him a good supply of skills to go with this. I also want to represent Bender's musical aspirations and general charismatic nature. Finally, Bender, being a bending unit, is exceptionally strong, so I'm going to try and make the build incorporate melee weapons to complement that. Bender is going to be a Warforged, which replicates his metal frame. As a Warforged, we get Constructed Resilience, giving advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. We also get immunity to disease and don't need to eat, drink, breathe, or sleep in order to survive. Then there's Integrated Protection, which gives a +1 to armor class and changes how armor is put on and taken off. It also prevents your armor from being removed against your wishes. Finally, we get a skill, which will be covered later on. As with most of my more recent builds, I will be making this character at level 6, starting with 3 levels in Rogue. We're going to get some skills as well as expertise, which will be covered later in the video, as well as Thieves' Cant, which can be used for discreet communication. We will also get Sneak Attack, allowing for additional damage on attacks we have advantage in, and Cunning Action, which can be used to dash, disengage, or dodge as an extra action every turn. At 3rd level, we get a Roguish archetype, and I think that Thief is the obvious choice, to highlight Bender's skill and experience as a burglar. Being a thief gives us the feature Fast Hands, allowing us to do more things as a cunning action. And then there is second story work, which improves our climbing ability. I think this fits with Bender's ability to climb and jump extremely well, due to his extendable arms and legs. Next, we'll be putting 3 levels into Bard to get some support spells and to represent Bender's musical aspirations. As a Bard, we get some spells, which I will go through with equipment shortly, and we get Bardic Inspiration, allowing us to provide buffs to our teammates' dice rolls using our charisma. Then we get Song of Rest, which can be used to improve healing, and Jack of All Trades, which strengthens our ability to make checks with skills we're not proficient in. Finally, we get more expertise and a Bard College, for which I recommend the College of Valor, giving proficiency in shields, medium armor, and martial weapons, as well as an improvement to Bardic Inspiration, allowing it to buff the damage rolls and armor class of party members. Any additional levels you get from this point will want to go into Rogue if you're focusing on the stealth side, or Bard for combat stuff like extra attack. I originally considered Monk or Fighter levels, but decided that College of Valor made Fighter unnecessary, and while Bender does fight unarmed, he doesn't really use martial arts or anything that resembles Ki. For equipment, we will be using the Rogue starting options, and I would suggest taking a Rapier, a short bow, and a Burglar's Pack. We will also get some leather armor, 2 daggers, and thieves' tools, although you will want to upgrade to medium armor and a more powerful weapon as soon as you can. We also get some bard spells, starting with 2 cantrips, for which you should take Light and Vicious Mockery. Then the first level spells Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Longstrider, and finally Speak with Animals to represent the character's understanding of the Penguin and Space Bee languages. For second level spells, I would suggest taking Enhance Ability. Bender's main ability scores will be Strength for attacks and for bending things, then Dexterity for general thief skills. Charisma and Constitution will be next for health and spellcasting. Finally, Intelligence and Wisdom won't be very important. I'm giving Bender a homebrew modification in the form of a hatch in his chest that will function in the same way as a small bag of holding. This will allow him to store a huge amount of things inside his chest compartment in the same way as he does in the show. I've also created the homebrew ability Extendable Limbs, which can be activated once per short rest as a bonus action, and lasts for 3 turns. While active, you can reach 50 feet further than normal for things like attacks or reaching objects. The extension also doubles your movement speed. Then I have the feature I'm 40% Alcohol. This feature requires the character to sustain themselves using alcohol. They are immune to the effects of alcohol, but are powered by it. If the character goes 6 hours without drinking a pint of any alcoholic beverage, they will enter a drunk-like state, and begin to rust around the mouth. Stats-wise, this is going to function the same as being poisoned, meaning you'll have disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws. Abilities that are used to cure poison or disease, such as the spell Lesser Restoration, can also be used to ward off this effect for 6 hours at a time. Bender's final ability can be used once within 1 hour of drinking something alcoholic. When activated, he may breathe fire in a 5x15 line as an action. This fire works in the same way as a Brass Dragonborn breath attack for things like damage and saving throws. For background, Bender has a long history and has done a lot of things, but basically his entire life and personality are based around his criminal actions, so that's what I'm going to be picking. The personality traits I went for are on screen, and for alignment, Bender is pretty straightforward. He occasionally does selfless and even heroic things, mainly for his friends, but as a whole, I would categorize him as chaotic evil. For skills, we get Deception and Stealth from our background. Then we get 4 rogue skills, for which I took Athletics, Perception, Performance, and Sleight of Hand. Finally, we get a skill from our race. I would suggest taking Intimidation. Now, from our various levels, we've also gained 4 expertise skills, for which I would take Deception, Performance, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth. Then we have an ability score improvement, and I think the feat Lucky is the best option here, to represent the character's 40% luck. That's everything I have for this character. I'd love to hear any feedback or any other characters you might like to see builds for in the comments. Also, be sure to click on the card on screen if you would like to see a video on some homebrew weapon mechanics I made to try and improve combat in Dungeons & Dragons.